Good morning.
Hope everybody's having a great day. We're going to get started here momentarily. I will add, please, I believe everybody's on mute by default, but I will add, if you do have a question, there's a chat line. There's also a Q&A or question and answer line as well. If you go into your chat options there, that will be available. Linda, great music to work by. Thanks. Good morning. Good morning, Constance. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for that. That's awesome. Love some group participation. Again, if you do have questions, chat it into the chat line or the question and answer line. There will be about 5 to 10 minutes towards the end where we have dedicated for a question and answer section. And that's when I will unmute everybody's microphones. So if you don't want to chat your question and you'd rather wait till the end, that's totally fine. In the meantime, I'd like to introduce our co-host for the morning session. We have here at Global Premier Benefits, we have the honor and privilege of having really great access to the founders and CEOs, CFO, the operations director. We have really great access to them, and that's something that you don't really find in a whole lot of large companies. So I'm very appreciative of that. So without further ado, our founder and CEO, Mr. Tony Holland, has been in the business well over 25 years, has grown this organization to be more of an education and people first organization. We are certainly in the service business, and that's, I hate the morning guy, and that's definitely something that is transparent through and through. So again, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Holland. Tony, are you on?
Hey, Mike. Thanks for that introduction, man. That was incredible. Thank you. Love that music, man. Dude, I was jamming. I couldn't set my chair anymore. I had to get up and groove to that, man. That was awesome. You gotta send me that link, man, because that was some good music, man.
Will do.
Little grooving on Tuesday morning. How y'all feeling? Good? Well, Mike, I just want to thank you, my friend, for putting this together today. And I know you put a lot of work over the weekend and put, your heart and soul into this. And we're so thankful to have you, Michael, a part of our family. And, we're just real excited about today's event and, how this all came about. We've seen throughout the years, and I've been doing Medicare for going on my 12th year now. And we see a lot of people have challenges with the AHIP. And also we've seen a lot of additional challenges that, people get in this business for all the wrong reasons. And we've seen in bad situations, people, give the test questions out, which is not legal, or they have somebody take it for them. And, that's not what the AHIP's all about. The AHIP is about, empowering yourself to have the knowledge to pass that knowledge on to help your clients. And that's what it's supposed to be for. Just like when we were in high school, there was a reason why we had those pop quizzes and tests and final exams to elevate our knowledge. So ultimately, we can be better at that chosen subject or topic. So it's the same thing with this here, with AHIP. So guys, I want you guys to understand why it's there, why it was designed, because back in the old days when I first got started, it was a kind of a gunslinging world. It was just like any and everybody can do AHIP and do Medicare. And, and it just, became very challenging ultimately for the Medicare beneficiaries, and CMS had to step in and put the regs that came in back in 2008. Many guys that have been in business a long time remember that. It's because there's a lot of unscrupulous, insurance agents and brokers and FMOs out there that were taking advantage of the system. So that's kind of how AHIP evolved, and it's a certification that makes sure you know what you're doing, what you're talking about, so you can help those clients in needs. Because you put the person in the wrong plan or take them out of the plan, it's a life-altering, it could be a life-changing situation for the adverse. And we don't want that. We want to make sure, agents, whether you're with my organization or some other organization, you're thoroughly trained and you know what you're doing, because ultimately that's somebody's mama, that's somebody's daddy that you're helping with their Medicare. Okay. So make sure we keep that all in mind. Yes, we all want to make a lot of money, and there's a lot of money in this business. I mean, we have agents on our team that are making $250,000 to $500,000 a year in renewals alone. And I know a lot of people come to our organization because we have leads, and we have all these great tools and technology. But guys, remember why we're here. We're here to change lives and save lives and help these seniors in need. And today we have I believe one of the best trainers I've ever seen in the business. And I've been doing this a long time. As Michael said, 25 years. It's actually 27, so I've dated myself. I'm 51. proud of it. Yeah, I feel 25, but it's just amazing. This business has truly, been a blessing to me and my family. So I thank the good Lord above for every blessing I've had in this business. And one of the things I try to do is pay it forward and help others in this business. That's why I think I am a little unique than any other FMO out there. That I was in your shoes at one time. I knocked on doors. I've been in a hoarder's house. I've done, had challenging moments in the business. I remember my wife and I having to roll quarters together in the early days. We still have that change machine. So we understand what it's like to be an agent. We understand what it's like to deal with a bad FMO. And so we decided we wanted to be a shining light in a very, very dark market. So we've blossomed Global Premier Benefits and Holland Insurance Group to where it is today. And we got some of the best trainers in the industry. And I put Joe Walker up there as one of the best. He's going to be your guest speaker today. Joe's got over 11 years in the Medicare Advantage business, 11 years. And I'm talking about 11 productive years. This gentleman's been a top agent, a top GA, a top MGA. He's been part of the Cigna Gold Circle multiple times, top sales producer with Humana and Cigna as a corporate rep. So he has corporate experience on the training side, and he also has broker experience on training. He's got, get this, guys, 26 years in the military serving multiple branches, which is shocking. So this guy's a true American hero. I salute him. I thank him for his service. Just an incredible gentleman, full of passion, full of love for people. One of the hardest working guys I know. So guys, please take lots of notes. It's a special treat. Joe has a ton of real, old school knowledge, but new school knowledge on top of it in terms of, how to pass this AHIP exam with ease, but also get the knowledge you need out of it to be a benefit to your clients. So guys, please take lots of notes. And ultimately, guys, let's not forget, as I start this out, it's about the seniors. We're here to change and save lives. So without further ado, from Biloxi, Mississippi, the one and only, a living legend in Medicare Advantage, one of the best trainers in the business, Joe Walker. Put it on him, Joe.
Well, thanks, Tony. I'm so humble. I'm speechless for the first time in my life. Thank you very much. What a great introduction. I wish half of it were true. I'm just teasing, but folks, welcome and thank you for taking time out of your busy days today. Yeah, it's that blessed time of year again, that recertification time where we get to sit down for a few hours and just kind of spout out how much we know about Medicare. But I just got to reiterate with what Tony said just a few minutes ago about what we do and why we do it. I had the privilege of serving in the military for 26 years. And I had that cause. I had that reason to protect my country and to support that person on my left and my right. And folks, that's exactly what we're doing today. When we take on the mantle of insurance agent in this industry, folks, we're out there changing lives and saving lives. We're fighting against the high cost of healthcare. And it's so important, folks, that we know exactly what we're doing. It's also important to know that we're with an organization that's going to put seniors first. And I know there are probably some folks in this call that are considering working for an FMO, or maybe you're with an FMO and maybe you're not that happy. I can tell you categorically, folks, since I've been in Medicare shortly after my time, in the military, I've had the opportunity to work with some of the carriers. I've been an independent broker working for some other FMOs. I can tell you categorically, you're not going to find a better organization than Global Premier Benefits. You're not going to find a support element like you're going to find with Tony Holland. This man is a leader in this industry, and yet he'll take time to talk to my new recruits. He calls and encourages me on a weekly basis just to see how I'm doing, and incredibly engaged. We got a lead generation program that is just cutting edge. You'll never be in need of leads, and we have a free lead program, tools, training. We got the whole enchilada that you need to be successful in this business. The only thing that you need is the desire to succeed. And we really hope that during this process that you take the time to look at Global Premier Benefits and what we have available. But back to the matter at hand. I know we got some limited time this morning. And again, folks, what we do is so vitally important. What we're doing is talking to people about their health care. We're talking about, we're helping them make decisions about how they're going to provide for their healthcare needs. So it's of vital importance that we know what we're doing. And so I know that, this time of year that, they're taking time out for certification it's difficult at best. But, and for those people that this is your first time, it can be intimidating. You feel like you're drinking through a fire hose. But folks, we can't stress the importance of this program, because this is where you're having the opportunity to prove to CMS and to the carriers and to your clients that you do know what you're doing, that you are a subject matter expert. And that's what AHIP's all about. When you look at AHIP was designed to be used by Medicare to show that its agents, and we're on the first screen, Mike, if you just go ahead and push us to the first screen, second screen, I guess. That's what AHIP's all about, folks. When we start looking at AHIP is a program used by Medicare for us to give them an opportunity to know that we do know what we're talking about, that we've completed the required training courses, and we do understand how to sell Medicare. And the nice thing about AHIP is it's accepted and used by all the Medicare carriers, which shows them that we do know how to legally sell and position Medicare Advantage plans and prescription drug plans. And it is required that we do this every year, because as we're going to see here in just a minute, the laws do change. And so there's a way that AHIP will actually incorporate the changes to those laws without being over intrusive to people that are recertifying. Next slide, please. Okay. With this next slide, folks, what we're looking at is just a couple of things. If this is your first time registering and taking the AHIP, if you'll notice off to the left, there's a user's guide. Off to the left where it says quick links, please go ahead and just print that out and just follow that step by step. If you do that, you shouldn't have any problem accessing the AHIP certification program. If you're brand new to if you're recertifying with your AHIP, you can go to the user login screen and go ahead and put in your NPN or your email from your last certification and your password. Now, I know that there's been a lot of issues. If you can highlight that area, Michael, I'm not sure if you've got that or not. The next one. Not the next. Yeah. Okay. Don't worry about it. But it's under that area where it says user login. I know that there's been some issues with logging in this year with AHIP. I went through a little bit of a trial and error myself. The best thing to do, folks, is go ahead and just put in your NPN number, and then go straight down to where it says forgot password. Click that, and it'll give you the instructions on how to put in a new password and hopefully access your AHIP. If that doesn't happen, you can call the number on the left for technical support or send an email. If you call the number right now, folks, I'm telling you, it's going to give you a little apologetic message and take your number and they say they're going to call you back. I've not received a call back yet. I've left quite a few messages, but we have had some success with the sending the emails. Now, the email, if they're talking about not being able to log on, they're going to tell you to use the forgot password solution, and if that doesn't work, I guess you just need to wash, rinse, and repeat. But one of my agents had the same issue logging on, and they went to one of the carriers and logged on through the carrier, and they were successful. So that's another opportunity as well. But again, there's really no other end around other than trying to get in touch with tech support, and I would probably go through the email option rather than calling, because you're just going to get frustrated with that. Next slide, please. Okay, our AHIP modules. Once you log on successfully to AHIP, you're going to notice that there's going to be 5 modules. Now, they're not going to let you progress on through one module until you finish the first. You notice with the first module is the overview of the Medicare program basics, choices, eligibilities, and benefits. If you've this is your recertification attempt, then what this will do is it will give you the option to bypass this module, the actual slide deck, and go to the test or to the end of module quiz. So if you go to that quiz and successfully pass that, then you can go on to the next module. The second module is Medicare health plans. It's going to talk about all the different plans available. Folks, I know that we have a tendency sometimes to kind of gravitate to those plans that we're familiar with, whether it's an HMO, PPO, regional PPO, but it's in this section that they also deal with union plans, Medicare savings plans, or medical savings plans, things of that nature, where you're really going to want to pay attention to that, because there are some questions on the AHIP that relate to those plans that you may not use on a regular basis. Again, with this module, if you're recertifying, you have the option of going straight to the end of module quiz. Module 3 is Part D prescription drug coverage. Folks, I'd take a little bit of time, if I were you, whether you're recertifying on this or not, to go through this module. This is going to let you know what the dollar amount levels are for the prescription drug plan for 2022, how they've increased, so, and any particulars that might have changed within the prescription drug plan world. Even though you can go straight to the end of module quiz, I would take the time to go through this and just see what kind of changes there might have been to the prescription drug program. Module 4, marketing Medicare Advantage and Part D plans. This is it's required that you go through this module, and I would encourage you to do so, because there have been some changes to the laws, just very slight changes. Just like last year, it was deemed that we could start enrolling people that had end-stage renal disease. There's going to be several changes to the laws this year, so please be sure to go through that module 4, look it over, and just look for those different changes, and then you'll be able to take the end of module quiz. Module 5, enrollment guidance for Medicare Advantage and Part D plans. Again, they're going to require that you go through this module as well before you take the end of module exam or quiz. For those of you that are, if you go to the next slide real quick, Michael, for those of you that are taking the AHIP for the first time, if you'll notice on the home page of the AHIP, there's a section that says you can download the slide deck. I would encourage you to do that, even if you're recertifying, especially modules 4 and 5. Go ahead and download those to your desktop, because you can use those as a ready reference guide. They come in handy during the final exam. But again, folks, those of you that are taking this for the first time, I know you're going to feel like you're drinking through a fire hose. I know you're looking at it as it seems like it's an overwhelming task. It's structured in such a way that the knowledge is building upon itself when you go through AHIP. But don't forget, it's going to be reinforced as you go out into the field. As you go out with that manager or training manager that on your sales calls, that you're going to see it presented. You're going to have the questions. I've been doing this for 11 years, and there's still situations that come up that I'm not real sure about. Again, this is to give you that working knowledge to make you, take you down that path to being the subject matter expert that you need to be to help your customers. So don't get overwhelmed by it. Just lean into it and get the process done. But you got the slide deck for each module that can be downloaded. At the end of each module, this is going to be important, so please listen to this. At the end of each module, there's going to be a 20-question quiz, and you're going to have multiple attempts to take this quiz to get the answers right. Next line. Again, with prior AHIP certification, modules 1 through 3 permit access to the end of module quizzes without going through the modules. Certification requires that module 4 and 5 are complete before the end of module quizzes are available. And the quiz questions provide an excellent study guide for the final exam. I want to go back to these two statements. There is a 20-question quiz at the end of each module. These quiz questions provide an excellent study guide for the final exam. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Again, with this,
if you look over to the right, it says download slides. This is where you're going to have the opportunity to download those slide decks to your desktop, so you can use them as a reference guide as well. Next slide. The AHIP final exam. The final exam will only be available after all 5 modules are complete. You'll notice on your dashboard page or your home page of your testing, there's going to be a little circle. It's going to show you how far you've progressed along your certification. As that little circle fills, it's showing you how close you are to completion. You cannot move on to the AHIP final exam until you finish those first 5 modules. But now the final exam is going to consist of 50 questions. Those 50 questions, next line, are taken verbatim from the end of module quizzes. Okay, so we go back to the slide, a couple of slides before, where it said that there was 20 questions at the end of each module. There's 5 modules. There's 100 questions total. We went and said that those questions provide an excellent study guide for the final exam. Why? Go down to the next. Why is this such a good study guide? Next. Because most questions are taken verbatim from the end of module quizzes. That word verbatim means exactly. So if you have a study guide of the end of module quizzes, and some have been known to even put those questions in alphabetical order, they become an excellent resource and study guide for the final exam. Next bullet statement. You have 3 attempts to pass this test, folks. Nothing will get you more anxious than the first time you fail the AHIP. Do not take that second attempt without consulting your upline manager about the situation. They're very serious about this. If you fail, next line, if you fail the AHIP 3 times in a row, you will not be able to sell Medicare Advantage or prescription drug plans for 2022. You have to have a minimum passing score of 90%. And so you can only miss 5 questions on this entire test. Failure to pass this exam after the 3rd attempt will result in not being able to sell Medicare Part C and Part D in 2022. And again, I just want to emphasize this one more time. Note, a study guide containing the end of module quizzes is an excellent study guide. Hint, hint. So if you have any questions with that, feel free to give us a call. Anyway, next slide. Once you complete the AHIP successfully, you'll go on to non-discrimination training. It's going to be available once that final exam is done. With your non-discrimination training, next line, please. There's going to be an end of course quiz on this. You're going to have some knowledge checks along the way, but the knowledge checks are not going to be verbatim for your end of course quiz. It's going to consist of 9 questions, and you have to pass that with a 70% or higher. So, and I believe there's only 3 attempts for this non-discrimination training. It's not the same as last year. There's been some changes to the non-discrimination laws. So please do yourself a favor, go through the non-discrimination training. It doesn't take that long, and just pay attention to the high points of when the laws became enacted and what each new iteration of the law included. Once you've completed the non-discrimination training, we get to go to the much loved Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse training. This is going to be, again, once you successfully complete the non-discrimination training final exam. Under this, there will be an end of course quiz. On that end of course quiz, there's going to be, I'm sorry, hold on, somebody tried to call in. The final exam consists of 10 questions, and you have to have a 70% or higher in order to pass that test. And the final exams are not taken from the course quizzes, just like with the anti-discrimination. Your Medicare Part C and Part D compliance, this is the compliance program that Medicare has available. This is where we start talking about secret shoppers and SDACs and Section 8s or Section A's, excuse me. And this is going to be important training. This is where you understand the requirements and your accountability, not just to the carrier, not to your FMO, but also to Medicare. Go ahead. There's going to be an end of course quiz with this. The final exam consists of 10 questions, and you have to achieve a 70% or higher to pass. And again, the questions are not taken from the end of course quiz. So that's pretty much it. Once you've completed the AHIP, you'll notice once you've completed all the required courses of study, that's going to be the 5 modules, the final exam, the anti-discrimination, fraud, waste, and abuse, compliance. Once all of that is completed, you'll notice the circle is grayed out. It says 100%. Once that's complete, you'll notice down below where it says AHIP course completion, you'll notice the carriers are there that you represent. Just go ahead and click on that transmit. It's going to say transmit in parentheses. Click on that, and it will transmit your results to different carriers. Now, in the case with Cigna, if you're certified with Cigna, it can take up to 48 hours for that certificate to register on your producer university. So just give it a little bit of time. You can always resubmit that or retransmit that, but verify with each individual carrier that you have that AHIP has been successfully transmitted. Okay. The typical cost or the cost for the AHIP is $175. In a lot of cases, there's organizations and some of the carriers will give you a discount when you enroll in the AHIP at the time that you're taking the test. But then also most carriers will reimburse you the cost of the AHIP once you've sold a certain number of policies. In the case of Cigna, once you enroll 5 people into a Cigna plan, Cigna will reimburse you the cost of the AHIP. And that's pretty much it. I try to make it as painless as possible. Again, folks, I can't stress enough the importance of AHIP. I know it feels like it's kind of a rite of passage, but this is where you're being honed and your skills are being, focused in to where you can do what's best for your customers. Please, if you look at this with the right attitude and realizing this is empowering you rather than intimidating you or hassling you, then you're going to approach it with the right attitude and you're going to gain out of this what you need to gain. We have a sacred trust to our customers to go out there and provide them the best healthcare plans that are available and doing them the best good. So I'm open for any questions or answers at this time.
This is Mike again. I'm sort of curating behind the scenes. There is an option to chat in your questions in the chat line or the Q&A line, question and answer line. I'd like to try and unmute everybody, but there's about 150 people here, so it's going to take me a minute. So if you do have a question, go ahead and chat that in, or if I have gotten to you already in terms of being allowed to unmute yourself, then go ahead and now.
So Joe, I'm going to go ahead and lead off with the first question. By the way, great job as always. And, I learned a lot, a good page of notes myself and what you shared. So you're saying the practice quizzes at each end of each section will see those same questions in the final exam. We'll see some of them. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's been my experience with myself and with most of my team members that have already completed the AHIP that sorry, I just had something come over my screen and drew my attention. Yeah, it's been our experience that the questions on the AHIP final exam are taken verbatim from the quizzes. Now we've noticed that there's been 3 or 4 questions that were not part of the final quiz. I think that might be AHIP's attempt to keep things a little bit above board. I'm not sure, but that's why it's important, folks, to have the slide deck downloaded to your your desktop, because you can do a Control F function, type in keywords, and it'll take you to that section that deals with the question that you're dealing with. But in my case, 97, or well, I guess it was 57 of the questions, 47 of the questions on the final exam were verbatim from the end of course quizzes.
So you're saying, Joe, relatively, it's almost like it's an open book.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, a prudent person would go ahead and copy and paste the end of quiz questions to a Word document, put them in alphabetical order, the questions and answers in alphabetical order, use that as a quote unquote study guide.
Yeah. So if I'm a new agent, the smartest thing to do is do that and take them over and over again until you almost have those questions down, memorized almost, you know them inside and out, because you're going to see those same questions on the final exam, correct?
Exactly. And for those for those people that are on the call that are new agents taking the AHIP for the first time, folks, I know it's intimidating, but don't go into this test without adult supervision. I mean, you've got people on your team, people that brought you into this industry that have probably forgotten more about Medicare than most people know in their lifetime. You know, partner up with them, have them on speed dial, have them help you through some of the more difficult aspects of your training. I'm sure they will. The managers, I know we do. Our managers here at Global are incredibly engaged, especially with the folks that are coming on, our team for the first time or coming into this industry for the first time. We're very engaged with our folks, making sure that they're trained properly, making sure that they're not intimidated by this. So please feel free to reach out to your manager, especially if this is the first time. If you're not getting cooperation with that, if you go to joingpb.com, there's a contracting link there. We'll be more than happy to help you.
Hey, Joe, thanks for the plug, man.
Anytime. That's what I do.
You couldn't make it any blunt, man.
So we do have a couple questions here in the chat line. I'm going to go top to bottom.
Certainly.
So Joe, you said a list of 50 questions. Is it my understanding that the 100 questions from the practice questions will provide all questions for the 50 question quiz?
That is correct, except we've noticed that there's some anomaly questions out there that are not part of that pool of questions, but it's been very limited in number. And if you've had a study guide from last year, throw it away, because they've got a bunch of brand new end of module quiz questions. There's probably about 40% of the questions from last year that are used this year. They're brand new questions. But again, they are taking the vast majority of the final exam questions from the pool of questions at the end of quiz at the end of module quizzes.
Yeah. Great. Very good. Okay. Is going through you means I have to be appointed with your company? I'm not sure.
Say that again.
Yeah, the question from Cecilia. And Cecilia, feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like to ask this again. He says, is going through you means I have to be appointed with your company?
I still didn't hear that, Michael. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me see. Going through you means I have to be appointed through your company.
Going through us?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. Cecilia, if you'd like to unmute yourself, I'm not 100% sure what you're referring to.
If you want to assist, is she on? Again, I want to defer. If she's still on, I'd like to go ahead and answer that question to the best of my ability. I'd like to defer back to the opening comments. Folks, I can't stress this enough. I've had a chance to work for 2 major carriers. I worked for another FMO, and I've come to find out that this is the absolute best organization that I have ever found, that I know. The support element that you're going to receive throughout every aspect of the process to your road to success is going to be here. I mean, you're not going to have a better mentor, ally than Tony Holland and his staff, like Michael and Felicia. The different programs available. But this is again what sets us apart. I don't know of any other FMO that's out there doing this, making this an open forum for people to pass the AHIP. We would love to have you as part of our family. We are completely engaged with our agents as managers. So I mean, if you want to have access to our training, if you want to have access to our support, again, here's a pen. If you got a pen and paper, write this down. Write down the word join, JOIN, G as in golf, P as in Papa, B as in benefit, GPB.com. You'll see a contracting link down there, and just tell them Joe Walker sent you.
There you go. Cecilia, I see you've unmuted yourself. Would you like to expand on that question, or did we just answer that?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
This is Victor AJ. I'm just trying to see if you could send that information on how to get engaged with you guys directly to my email.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Michael, are you going to capture his email?
Yeah, the email that you registered with, Victor, I will send you some information directly to you. And everybody on this call, as a matter of fact. I'll send you the recording after this is completed today, and a couple of bullet point notes on based off what we talked about.
Victor, where are you at? Where are you out of?
Thank you.
Where do you live, Victor?
I'm in Birmingham.
Oh, really? That's
Yes,
my
sir.
area.
Oh, good. I'd like to meet you.
Well, I'd like to meet you too.
Well, all right, you guys can get lunch, but I'm going to move to the next question if that's all right.
Matter of fact, Victor, we're going to be up in that area on the 29th of July. Tony's going to be down there. I'm going to be down there or up there. We'll send you some information, and hopefully we can see you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That'll be awesome.
Fantastic.
In Katy area.
Okay, I'll be so happy if you could send me your contact so I can give you a call, and then we'll go from there.
That sounds great, Victor. Absolutely will.
Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Here in Dallas, North Texas, how do I learn more about your FMO? That's from AT. Well, I guess we sort of just answered that as well. In the chat line, there is the website called jointgpb.com. That's basically our website. You can get all you need to know about us from there, or if you'd like, I can put my contact info. I'm the basically onboarding specialist here. My name is Michael Kaplan, and my number is 443-478-2853. You can call or text me at that line. You do not necessarily have to go through a phone menu or none of that. That's my direct line. So thanks for asking for that. Next question, Sharon. Thanks. That was a good presentation. I was overwhelmed at first, but now I feel like I have the knowledge to get through AHIP. Definitely going to get help with this problem. Awesome. I'm glad we could empower.
Outstanding. Outstanding. That's what this was for.
When you completed the AHIP on July 1st and did notice 3 questions that wasn't in the material, but I passed with a 98. So all the other questions that were in the end chapters were indeed on the exam. So that's awesome, Glenn. Thanks for that. Validating what we just reviewed. So that's perfect. Jimmy, I'm a first timer. What's the contact link for my next step? We will send that to you, Jimmy. Thanks for asking. We will certainly get you taken care of. Not a problem. Frank, I have been AHIP certified for a number of years. What would the benefit to me be of joining your FMO? Well, Tony or Joe, I can say till I'm blue in the face. I'm supposed to. It's my job.
Hey, there's no better spokesperson for that question than Mr. Tony Holland.
Well, I want to make sure we stay on topic. But my whole purpose for this meeting was to get people in the industry to know AHIP so they can better serve their clients. And yes, we do offer a lot of different things, and we're actually having a workshop this Saturday called our Super Saturday. But you're welcome to reach out to me or Michael or Joe direct, and that's a question. I can spend as much time as you need on. Michael, you can go ahead and chat them my phone number, my cell phone number. Anyone that has more in-depth questions is welcome to call me. I just think that's, also makes us rare that most FMOs aren't on calls like this and are not going to give their personal cell phone. That's my personal cell phone, 443-253-3634. But we do leads, we do support. Somebody asked about discounts on AHIP. There's a lot of things that we do in terms of, enriching your experience. But, we're looking for quality agents with the right attitude, the right work ethic, and the right skill set, which is what we're focused on today, the AHIP skill set. Because ultimately, one bad agent that doesn't know their stuff on this AHIP can cause problems for the whole organization. So, not only we want to make our organization better, but we want to help other FMOs that may not be doing this get their act together. So that way we can clean up the industry as a whole. The last thing we want is people in this business for all the wrong reasons. I think everybody on here would agree to that. I think everybody on this call is prayerfully doing this for the right reason, to help change and save lives. The challenge we're seeing, many agents get in this business that don't know what the heck they're doing because they got FMOs that just contract and throw them on the street, and then they fail over and over again. And ultimately, they create a mess of problems for the industry that the good agents we have to deal with. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you're one of the good agents on this call, you know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for years. There's nothing worse than agents out there that have been poorly trained out there trying to help seniors with a life and death product. And so we want, like I said in the beginning, we want to be a shining light in a very challenging market. We want to change that trend to force FMOs and organizations to train their people better. And if that doesn't give you a better insight in what we're about, then I don't know what else to tell you. We lead with God first. We want to enrich in people's lives. We believe in an educational approach versus a sales approach. And that's why we're here today. If you get this AHIP down and have the knowledge and pass them the first try, which 99.99% of our agents do, you're going to have an unbelievable experience. If you're new to this, it blows me away. I started out selling for American Income Life in 1994. I got into final expense later on in my career, but it was nothing like selling Medicare Advantage when you can go in someone's house. They're loving on you, they're kissing you, they're feeding you, you become part of their family. You ain't got to ask for a check, and you get these benefits, and then you get lifetime renewals. We get paid during AEP. Most agents don't even know what I'm talking about on this call. We get paid, no prorates with our partnership with Cigna. So there's a lot of things we offer. That I know this call wasn't about that. I wouldn't try to plug Globe. I was trying to, focus the energy on AHIP. But if you want to learn more about that, definitely give me a call or Michael. And we're also doing a workshop this Saturday called our Super Saturday Workshop. Next question, Michael.
Joe, what's the contact info you want to share out there? I'll put that in the chat.
I mean, for me directly?
Yeah.
You can either contact me by voice or by phone or by email. If you'd like to put that in there, if you want me to, I can tell you it's 228-860-8177. And my email address are my first initials, J as in Juliet, B as in Bravo, Walker, JB Walker, 1958 at outlook.com.
There you go. So everybody in the chat, if you want to find my contact info, Tony's or Joe's, you should be able to find that in there. So let me get back to these questions here. Let's see. First time. Am I correct that if we are recertifying, we can skip ahead to the final after module 3? Is that correct?
It is. You can skip modules. You have to take the end of module quizzes, but for the first 3 modules, you will not have to go to the slide deck to access the in the quiz or in the module quiz. So it's going to give you that option. It's going to say recertify, click here. And it'll take you, and it says, it'll ask you if you just want to take the quiz, and you can. But again, I would encourage everyone to download all 5 modules slide decks to your desktop. Just put it in a folder that says AHIP. That way you've got a ready reference guide, because somewhere down the road, you're going to have a question, and that's going to be a great ready resource for you.
Good stuff. Levon, Joe, you have done an outstanding job training us on AHIP. You never cease to amaze me. Thank you. Well, that's nice.
Well, thank you. The check for $5 is in the mail.
Let's see, Regina, will you at the close please provide contact info for those that can assist? Yeah, well, I just did that. If you mean somebody else, please chat. Further clarify where you can unmute yourself. Either one. June Brown, may we have Joe's email? Yes, that is in the chat as well. June. Elsie, can you send out the modules to download? I don't know that we can send them out, but I know you can download them once you register for the course. I don't know if that answers your question. And Joe, that's correct, yes? Hey, Joe?
Sir?
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. They'll
Yeah.
have to register with AHIP in order to download the modules.
Perfect. Florence, what's the time limit for taking the exam? Is there a time?
I believe it's 2 hours.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's for everything, or just for the module one, or what?
No, there's no time limit for the modules. That's for the end of the final exam. I think it might be 90 minutes now. I'd have to double check. It's either 90 minutes or 2 hours.
Well, if you've done everything, Joe, that you suggested today, it shouldn't take you that long anyways, right?
Took me 17 minutes.
17 minutes?
And that's 17 and that's with double checking the answers.
Wow. Okay. And you passed.
Well, yeah.
I can take it in 17 minutes. That doesn't mean I passed, but that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. A bunch of people say thank you. Thanks for your contact information. Looking forward to it. Awesome. Welcome. Cynthia Thomas, you and Victor are in the same area. That's awesome. Look at this, making connections already. Reese, I just posted that in the chat, so you should have that. If you don't, please let me know. Does GPB offer discounts for the AHIP test? As it stands, no, we do not. But we do have a really great partnership with Cigna Medicare, and that can be expanded on in another conversation offline. But the discount that Joe is mentioning with Cigna Medicare, if you write business with them, they will reimburse you the entirety of the exam cost anyway. So a lot of carriers do that. Cigna is one of the better ones getting on top of that. So through us, no, but through the carriers, yes, that is a strong recommendation.
Hey, can I jump in there, Michael, real quick to explain that? There's a lot of companies out there that'll do that, and we want people that are going to, have some skin in the game, and we don't have a problem. I'm speaking on behalf of Cigna and some of my other carriers. We don't have a problem reimbursing you back, but we want people to have some skin in the game. But you write business, 5 sales, you get the 100% back. I think that's a fair ask. If you can't do 5 sales really in a week, there's something wrong with you in this, but you're doing something wrong, or you're with the wrong group, wrong organization. You should be doing at least a sale a day, in this industry, especially during, AEP. We typically have agents doing 5 and 6 enrollments a day. So, 5 sales to me is a fair number. And yes, we'll reimburse you 100% of your AHIP. Hope that helped that question. Next.
Yep, thanks, Tony. Reese, yes, another question that came in late. Will there be a repeat class? I don't know that we have it on the books yet. We could certainly put that together. But this session here today is actually being recorded, and we will send you out the recording after this session in an email with a couple of notes. So you can keep an eye out for that today. Chris, thanks for that comment. You love the website. That's awesome. Elsie, please put contact info in the chat. Yep, that should be in there. Again, if you don't see that, let me know. Is there a time limit for the final? Yeah, Marlon, we said it's either 90 minutes or 2 hours for the final. Thanks for the presentations. Information's very applicable. Thanks, Ricky. Much appreciated. Let's see, this global offer discount. No, we just went through that. What's the time limit for the exam? Yep, 90 minutes to 2 hours for the final. And then there is not one for each module. Fantastic job, Joe, and thanks, Tony. Thanks, dude. I came in late. Is this being recorded? That's my email. Yes, Walter, yes. This is recorded. We will send you an email. As long as you registered for this session, which everybody here did, we will send you the recording. Not a problem. Not a problem. Edward, thanks, Tony, Joe, and Michael. Appreciate your help and encouragement. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. My pleasure. I've not seen a link from Cigna to register with AHIP. Did Cigna send out a link to contact agents? That's from Cynthia. Joe or Tony, do you have any?
Yeah, with that, if you'll go to Producer University under the, was it My Learning or something like that, where it has the requirements, the last entry on that is going to be AHIP certification. Now, Cigna has its own type of AHIP called Pinpoint. You can register with Pinpoint and satisfy the CMS requirements, but that will only apply to Cigna Medicare. It doesn't apply to the, if I'm mistaken, I might be mistaken on this. I don't believe it applies to our standalone prescription drug plans, but you will not be able to transmit the Pinpoint program to any other carrier other than Cigna. So if you're going to any other or using any other carrier, Humana, United Healthcare, Aetna, you need to take the AHIP because you don't want to pay twice for the same type of test. There is a charge for AHIP. But there should be a link under Producer University, under where it says My Learning. It's the first, there's 4 boxes, and the first box is My Learning. If you access that, it'll give you a list of required certification. If you go down where it talks about AHIP, you should be able to access AHIP through that site. And if there's any applicable discounts with Cigna, it should attach it then. If not, I would try Humana. I had an agent that went through and Humana had it down to $125, and they were able to get through the glitch in the system and take the AHIP yesterday.
Oh, nice. Very good. Hope that helps, Cynthia. Cecilia, thanks for the text. Great info. What's the website to download the modules? That's from Crystal. Crystal, you have to go to the AHIP website. Once you log in and register, everything will be there for you. They sort of put all that together at the front end once you register. I enrolled via Cigna and AHIP. The cost is $125 from Mark. Yep. Most carriers will do exactly that. Then, of course, if you write business, they'll reimburse.
Again, Michael,
Yeah.
Let me stress the fact that if you're going through Cigna, ensure that it's AHIP and not Pinpoint. Pinpoint is not another name for AHIP. That is a whole different, organization, whole different testing system. So you want to make sure you're using AHIP, or it will not transfer.
Yeah, it's not like a driver's license where
Correct.
everybody has the same thing.
Right.
Okay. From Chris, this is great. Thanks so much, Joe. You're greatly appreciated. Is the best. Thanks, Chris. You're the best. Frank, sounds good. Very good. Joe, you did an outstanding job as always. Glad to know you. That's from Cynthia. Got a lot of fans out there, Joe.
Yeah. I'm going to be broke by the time I pay everybody off.
Tiffany, I came in late due to time to cover recording. Yes, as long as you registered again, we will send you the recording, not a problem. I'm in Birmingham. What's contact info for your contact here? That's from Elizabeth. Elizabeth, hopefully you can see that in the chat, our contact information that we sent. And then a bunch of thank yous. Thank you. This was great, super useful. You're quite welcome. Okay, now the other side. In our Q&A chat line, if a carrier is not listed when you go to transmit, can that carrier be added? If yes, then how?
Yes, once you contract through that carrier and you go back and access AHIP again, then it should show up there to transmit, or the carrier will have protocols by which you can download your. That's another reason why you want to print your certificate, or not print it, but download it to your desktop, so you can either print it and scan it, or scan it. Print it and scan it. Well, if it's already on your desktop, you don't need to be good. Anyway, you can use the download certificate and send it to the carrier, and that'll work. And each carrier will have protocols to ensure that certificate is uploaded into your account.
Perfect. I'm unfamiliar with, oh, that's from Cecilia, gotcha. I'm repeating questions. Delvin, are all the questions the same and in the same order? No. That would
No,
be too easy.
absolutely not.
That would be too easy.
Now, again, with that, and you bring up a good point. You know, you're gonna have a pool of 100 questions. They're gonna randomly select them in any kind of order. But the question, you know, what a prudent individual will be doing when they make up the study guide, they're going to print out or copy the question and only the correct answer, because you know the correct answer in the module quiz might be A, but when you go to the final exam, the correct answer, while it's the same as A, is going to be listed as C. Does that make sense? They're going to mix up the answers. It's going to still be the same right answer, but it's going to be either A, B, C, or D. So don't go by and say, oh, there's that question, just hit A, because that's what it was in the module quiz. Because in the final exam, the correct answer might be listed as C instead of A. Am I making sense?
Yes, perfect sense.
Okay.
Awesome. If you exit out before completing the exam, will that go against you and considered as a full attempt, or can you come back?
Yes. You have to sit there and complete it. Now, if you have transmission errors because of like internet interruption, they have protocols for that. But if you exit the exam before you complete it, will count as an attempt.
Got it. Abdul Rahman asked if anybody's in the Katy, Texas area. Off the top of my head, I don't actually know where that is specifically, but I'm sure we can connect. I'll call you after this and we can dive a little deeper on that. We already mentioned that. If I exit out of the exam, don't we just send you that as well. What's the contact info for Birmingham? That's from Elizabeth. I believe that would be Joe, right?
That's me.
Perfect. So
Lucky you.
Yeah, right. That's in the chat line. So if you were able to see that, matter of fact, I'll copy and paste that again in the chat. That's gonna be my contact info. My name's Michael. If you guys got a text message or an email about this session, then that was coming directly from me. So lucky you in that regard. But there's everybody. My contact info, Joe and Tony's contact info is also at the end of the chat. I believe we've gotten to everybody. Very much appreciate everybody showing up, asking questions, participating. Sometimes we do webinars across the country and nobody, unmutes himself and chats in the line. We know there are questions, just nobody wants to be the first one. So we very much appreciate making this a smooth process. And then Tony, actually, let me throw that back to you.
Yeah, guys, I want to thank you guys for joining. One last slide, if you could, Michael. If you guys are seriously interested about learning more about the nuts and bolts on, our organization, we're having a Super Saturday event this Saturday, July 17th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can register there if you'd like. But it's really, we put this together to, as I said in the beginning, to get you more in tune with what we're supposed to do for the clients that we're supposed to serve. God has us here for a reason. That's to serve others and make this a better world. And, our country's gone through so much, as you guys know, over the last 18 months. I'm about uniting us together and working together for a common goal. And that's about helping those seniors out there that are lost in the industry. They're lost in the maze of Medicare. We can help them out. But during that Super Saturday session, you're going to find out what makes us different from our free lead and co-op program. We're able to offer the top commissions in the industry. We have no prorates. A lot of agents in Medicare don't know that we're the only organization in America has a no prorate, and you still keep your book. So you're vested day one. There's no prorates. That means you get the full commission year round. You don't get a prorate. Most of you guys have been doing it for some time. Know what that means. That is huge.
Ask Michael. You might Everett.
Can you mute yourself, young lady who's speaking? So there's no prorates on qualifying MAPDs. You get paid full commissions during the during AEP, which is huge. Especially last year, we had people that said that saved their family and saved their house from going into foreclosure They were able to still make money while other agents had to wait 4 and 5 months to get paid. Our guys get paid every week during AHIP. And we have the best virtual insurance sales system in the business. So you're going to learn about that. More questions. I think Michael put his number up 3 times. Here it is again, 443-478-2853. And it is an extraordinary opportunity, unique. It's different, very special. We're more hands-on than anyone out there. And again, I want to thank you guys, because I know we're well atop the hour. It's well over 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank you guys again for joining and taking your insurance career serious. It's amazing how many people, as I said in the beginning, get in this on a whim. They don't understand really why we're here, what our purpose is. This is about changing lives and saving lives, guys. And, it's incredible what we've done for the seniors in our marketplace. Many of these seniors, didn't know that there was a dental plan out there to help them get their dentures. There's many seniors out there that are suffering through pain that they don't have to anymore. There's many of them out there that can't afford to keep paying their premiums on a sub. They didn't know there's a Medicare Advantage plan that is zero premium. So there's so much opportunity, especially now with the end-stage renal disease opportunity that people used to be, were not able to get it. If they had that disease, now they can. I mean, we got over 55 million people in the marketplace. And many of them don't know that, there's other benefits available, like extra help, which we do a seminar on extra help, the LIS program, that they can get up to $5,000 worth of benefits. And all they got to do is enroll. 30 million Americans qualify for that, don't even know it. That's like $400 extra a month. So there's so many great things that are out there that we offer in this industry. We're a year-round group. We don't just show up, in September and disappear in January. We do this 12 months, 365 days a year. And that's why I believe we are one of the best FMOs out there, if not the best. It just asks some of our team members, and I know we're not for everybody, and not everybody is our cup of tea either, but I tell you what, the right kind of people with the right attitude and keep God first, they got the tremendous work ethic and know their craft. They're going to do extremely well with Global. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. May God continue to bless y'all always. I just want to thank you guys again. Call me if y'all need anything else. Reach out to Michael or Joe. We're here to help and serve you. Whether you're with us or not, or another FMO, we're still going to try to help you make a difference in your life. God bless y'all, and y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. God bless and thank you. Michael, can you wrap it up with that cool music for me, big guy?
Thank you, Tony.
I thought you never. Joe, did you want to chime in there?
No, I just said thank you to everybody. Kick it off, man.
Joe, thank you, Joe, and thank you for your service to our country, man. You did an awesome job today, and thank you to your service to our organization. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Tony. Let's dance.